Hello, welcome to Be Money Wiser. Every time you get a loan, you're anticipating to either get something out of it or to reach or to reap big out of it. But if you don't really stick to the plan, things might turn around on the wrong side. Today we are talking about a loan diversion, and we're going to listen to a story by Luswata Albert, where he tells us why he diverted the money he got that he was supposed to invest in a business, but instead he had an emergency.
My name is Albert Luswata. I'm a journalist, I'm a businessman, and I'm an artist. I got a loan from the bank and I wanted to do business of a restaurant. So I got it. After getting it, my kid got sick. I had no alternative because the wife was just on my neck. And the only alternative is to get on that money to take my kid to the hospital. None of it around, I lost some of the money. Or I can say capital that I lost. I didn't know that I thought that I would get back that money to still continue operating my restaurant, which I failed. What do I learn from this? It's a question. What I learned is that I was not prepared. So I need to be prepared, or if you want to do business, you have to prepare yourself. Not just say, tomorrow I'm going to do this business, tomorrow I'm going to do this, tomorrow I'm starting this business without a plan. So you have to make a plan to start up a business. In every business that you do, you must plan. It's not to lose. So I done that. Thank you so much.
This gentleman borrowed with a plan. He did everything that was required of him to get that loan. But then he was hit by this emergency that really, possibly when he looked around in the resources that he had, the only possible way out was this money that he had got for the loan.
True, at most times we usually blame people for borrowing money without a plan,
Yes.
or a clear vision of what they are going to use the money for, or even when they have a plan, they borrow at the wrong time.
Yeah.
You have a plan, but you're not ready to execute it.
Yeah.
But you can see for him, he was more than ready with a plan to get started with a business, but then an emergency comes in. Is an emergency a justification for someone to divert money?
One of the main cause of loan diversion is poor client relationship management. Most of the time, lenders, financial institutions do not understand their clients, do not give them financial literacy to make them understand that when you take the money, it's the purpose. The money should be properly utilized. So number two, the common one obviously is poor monitoring. We really don't know these clients, we never monitor them, we don't know the challenges they are facing, because if our CRM is good, we are monitoring the clients and we are not under financing, we can fight loan diversion. But if I apply for a loan of 10 million and give me 5, by all means I may end up not using the money for the purpose I intended to do.
Alex, looking at Albert's story, it's a unique one. I want you to have this kind of perspective that he's gotten the money, he already has the plan, but his child falls sick. If you're the same person, probably your sister, your mother falls sick, and the only money that is at hand is the loan money, what would you do?
The reason I told you that the main cause of diversion dealing, when you look at this experience, is because of poor client relationship management. We do not understand our clients. If you really understand your client, you would tell them that, by the way, we might have emergency loans. Very many banks have emergency loans. Having a loan in a bank does not mean you cannot qualify for a loan. You can run more than even 3 loans, 1 to up to 3 loans, so long as you have the capacity to pay back. You may find you're taking a loan maybe of a certain amount of money, and your capacity to pay back is enough to run another loan. So if the officer in charge of the loan and the client had a good relationship, they would have communicated that, by the way, my child has palsy, and they get a small amount of money that can cater for that emergency with the proper terms. Because you can take a loan for business, you're supposed to pay either weekly or monthly, but they can tell you, by the way, it's an emergency, don't take it, you pay it after 3
Now,
months.
Alex, is that not getting into enslavement? You're already talking about someone who already has a loan, and you're advising them to get another loan. In fact, it's a challenge that people are facing, banks even enticing them to get top-ups.
Well, at the end of it all, as long as someone endeavors to be more knowledgeable about finances, we always emphasize that we need to save for emergencies. You see, at the end of it all, when you have that buffer, you don't have to end up in this entrapment of borrowing left, right, and center. And at the end of it all, ladies and gentlemen, borrowed money is supposed to use for exactly the reason as to why you borrowed it.
And it
whether
doesn't
it's
matter.
an emergency, whether what has happened,
You have to
at
pay
least
back.
you go and ask for donations and survive. But you always have to pay back. There is no shortcut around that. And your financial institution will also be there to listen and help you out. But as long as you have a plan and a strategy of paying them back.
And
Doesn't.
let's always tell the truth. Sometimes what causes people to fail to pay back is because they come to the financial institutions and never say the truth. They project their cash flow to be high. Financial institutions depend on such a cash flow, give out money, yet we're burdening you. So for us, when we do hotel books, when we do underground checks, and we find out that you have the capacity to pay back, we shouldn't limit you to get the money, solve the emergency.
But then the person who is borrowing should have a plan, should know that I am going to use this money, I will earn this much, and I will pay back like this. And even if this business fails and I can't pay back, I'll have plan B, plan C on how to repay that loan. But all in all, the key question that we need to have at the back of our minds as we conclude this discussion is, ladies and gentlemen, are you borrowing with a plan? That's part A. But part B is,
Are you sticking to the plan?
The last one, but are you saving before even you borrow? If you had the savings, would you go for a loan?
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't matter for whichever reason you're diverting the loan for,
Yeah.
as long as you've diverted from the original plan, remember, you must pay back. Get onto our YouTube channel, comment and share with us any experience with borrowing, and make sure that you reach out for all the other episodes that you probably missed out.